One challenge for creating content for an online learner is how do you chunk the content, especially when a lot of it is delivered by video, by PowerPoint or Google Slides, etc. One tool to help do that is a tool called h5p, and it's one of the tools that you can use in Moodle to create content. And if I just go into this one, you can see kind of what this looks like. What I've done is I've actually taken a video from NASA's site that they've released in public, and I've created an H5P on it. You can see that there's these little dots along the timeline. And what I've done is I've actually put some interactivities along those dots to break up the content. So if I hit full screen here, just so that we can take up most of that space, and I hit just play the water cycle, you notice that when the video gets to one of those dots, a content piece that I've added pops up. And that content can be a multiple choice question. It can be a piece of text like this. It could be an image. It could be drag and drop labels where you could, for example, have students identify where something is and drag that into place. And what it does is it breaks up the content with tasks that are either done in the student's notebook or that are done right on the screen. In this case, I just used a text box to ask the student to record some content into their notes. And of course, once they hit play, that vanishes and it will continue playing until the next spot. Now, Moodle will actually remember, if I actually leave this at this point and come back a little while later, Moodle will be smart enough to pick up and play this video from this point forward, which makes it really easy to use. To use this tool, it's really simple. All you need to do is go into your Moodle page. As always, make sure you turn your editing on so you can add content. When I get to the content piece, I can just click add an activity or resource. Scroll down until I find the H5P, which is this kind of little black icon right here. And I can just click add. Now, most of this looks very similar to what you would see in a typical Moodle space. You can see that I've got my description, and then underneath it says, what is the content? When I get to the content piece, it does give me a lot of choices. For me, the most common one that I tend to use is interactive video, because then I can use video off of either YouTube or that I've pulled from a legitimate site and embed some of this interactivity in it. And so if I click interactive video right now, it will take me to my typical page. Now, the title is exactly what you want this thing to be called. So that's just like the title in any course. Add video, I can just hit the plus button and I can either upload a video, or if I have the URL for a YouTube video, I can just go ahead and insert that there. So I just happen to have a blended learning video in my clipboard from YouTube. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste that here and I'll click insert. And it does say this is YouTube, and that's really all I need to know. So now it's time to add some interactivity. So if I go to add interactivity, you'll see that the video actually pops up in my screen, but I get a number of these little tools that I can add in different parts of the video. So for example, if I got to a point in the video, let's say for whatever reason, right there is where I wanted to have some interactivity, I could go up to the top of the page and I can just say, do I want to add text? Do I want to add a table? Do I want to link to something? Do I want to give a choice, crossroads, where they can choose between multiple destinations in the video, different parts, different time signatures that I can jump to? Or do I want to have some quiz elements, for example, a single choice or a multiple choice set, a true-false question, fill in the blanks, and so on. Let's do just a real simple multiple choice or a single choice set. So I'll click on that. You'll notice that it pops up on the screen, gives me some options. Typically, if it's going to be something that pauses the video, which multiple choice usually would, I'm going to click pause the video, and I'm going to make sure that the time to start, or the time that it actually appears, which is where I was paused in the video, is also the time when it leaves. Because when they finish the actual question, you want that question to vanish so that they can continue on with the page. Now, by default, it will pop up as just a button on the screen that they can press, but I tend to find using the poster where all of the content is just immediately visible is probably the easiest way to do that, rather than having to click an extra time to actually get the question to show up on the screen. So I might put a question up that says, okay, so this is now just the title for it. And now here's my actual question. Give a nice specific multiple choice question. And my alternatives would be, it says first one is a correct one, so we'll put why not. Second alternative, we'll do how. Maybe we'll go a third one and maybe what. There we go. And once I'm done, I can either add another question, which I actually don't want to do, and keep going. So when I'm done, all I need to do is go to the bottom and hit the done button. And you'll see it actually shows up here on the screen for me. You can see I don't quite have enough space for it, so I'm going to just adjust the positioning and size of it. The big thing is to make sure that you've got it big enough you can see the whole question. Once you're done, you can just keep playing the video. You'll notice it vanishes. But if I actually rewind the video just before that point, and as you can see, it just shows up where I placed it. Again, if it's not the right size, it's very simple just to drag and change the size of it. And that's all there is to it. You keep moving forward and you add content as you want. When you're completely finished, you just go save and display. Oops, I need to give it a title. I can go save and display. It usually takes a couple of seconds when we're using one of these, but once it's done, you can see it's popped up. It looks basically like a simple YouTube video, but you can see that on the track now are my questions, and if I jump ahead, again, it just shows up, and if I actually put push how, it will come up and say, no, it's why not. And then I can hit play and off I go. And that's it. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to let me know.